Hello and welcome to Link Ahead, the City of Dublin podcast. I'm Bruce Edwards, Digital Brand Manager for the city.
And I'm Lindsay Weisenauer, Director of Communications and Public Information. And for the first time in 7 years, Dublin has a new city manager. We are thrilled to have as our guest today, Megan O'Callaghan. Megan, welcome to Link Ahead.
Thanks for having me.
So you've actually been serving this great city since 2014, most recently as Deputy City Manager, Chief Finance and Development Officer. But now you are officially the city manager for a couple days now. Tell us, what has your first week been like?
It has been crazy busy, lots of fun. I've spent a lot of time talking to staff, talking to city council members. First day I actually spent at the Exchange because the Ohio Economic Development Association held their annual summit. So it was a great day of networking with other economic developers around the region and the state. We talked about important topics that are impacting economic development, including workforce and housing. Second day was a big day over at our service center for our maintenance staff and our operations staff. They had their annual Snow Go Day, which is an important day as we prepare for the upcoming dreaded winter months. They spent an entire day focusing on snow and ice removal preparedness. The day begins with training in the classroom. Then they move outside for the snow rodeo.
I believe I saw a photo of you driving a snowplow. Is that true?
I
Nice.
did. Yeah, our operations staff sets up an obstacle course out in the back of our service center in the parking lot. And they have various maneuverability areas where the drivers practice their skills and maneuverability. So I did participate in that activity. As well as some of our volunteers and other staff throughout the city.
How bad does the snow have to get that the city manager is behind a snowplow? Is there a prerequisite that's like a level 6? Or let's be honest, can it get more Dublin than the city manager's last name being O'Callaghan? Was that like a prerequisite in the interview process?
It may have been. I will never know. I don't know the other candidates' last names, so if it was a prerequisite, maybe there weren't any O'Briens or O'Connors or any of those folks. But in all seriousness, it was a true honor to participate in the selection process as an internal candidate. I, had experience working in various areas of the city. I've worked with nearly every division and department. I worked over at the service center, the development building, now City Hall. So I was very fortunate to have that great experience. I'm also a resident, so I know a lot about the city inside and out. And I was very fortunate that City Council selected me to participate in the process.
Right, so here's a question we ask everyone from interns to CEOs, so we'll ask you, why Dublin? Give us your 30-second elevator speech.
Well, Dublin is an amazing community. We offer the best-in-class services. It's the best city to live in. It's the best suburb to do business. We have the best community events. I love all of our city parks. We have over 130 miles of bike paths. We really appreciate recreation, and it's overall a beautiful city. We take pride in aesthetics and the quality of the built environment. We have a tradition of being a very visionary community. We have strong leadership in our city council. We take bold steps to make sure that we stay on the leading edge of all things. We're very focused on economic and fiscal vitality and environmental sustainability. Our schools are second to none. The list goes on. Most of all, our staff. Our staff is second to none. They take great pride in serving our residents and providing the best customer service around.
Megan, you are succeeding Dublin's 5th city manager, Dana McDaniel, and you've worked closely with him for the past 8 years. I know you've learned so much from him, but is there anything you can tell us that sticks out as the most significant?
Dana really is and has been an amazing mentor to me. I have worked with him nearly 9 years at this point, and he has taught me so much. His passion for the community, his passion for leadership, his passion for developing staff, those are all things that I have taken to heart and will continue to focus on into the future. You look around the city and his fingerprints are all over the city. He has done so many amazing things for Dublin. He's worked for Dublin so long, he knows everything. You can ask him a question about something that happened 20 years ago, and he knows the answer. So that has been invaluable. All that history and knowledge that he has obtained over his entire career really has been a tremendous asset.
When City Council announced your appointment to City Manager, Mayor Fox said, quote, "We are confident in O'Callahan's ability to execute Council's recently adopted framework to be the most sustainable, connected, and resilient global city of choice." So no pressure there. But those are bold, broad goals, kind of worth breaking down for our listeners. Can you talk a little bit about what most sustainable means for City Council and for you?
Sure. First of all, everything that we do is in the spirit of collaboration. We're currently working through a sustainability framework, which is set to institute smart, measurable, attainable goals of the city in terms of environmental sustainability. We want to be the most sustainable city. Sustainability is also not only about environmental sustainability, but also about economics, our fiscal health, and world-class innovative and efficient services that we offer to our residents, businesses, and visitors.
How about most connected, and what does that mean for the city?
Sure. The most connected goal includes state-of-the-art infrastructure, convenient transportation. One effort underway in support of the most connected goal is the city's fiber to the home project. That's a very important initiative that we view as an economic development strategy. We issued a request for proposals earlier this year, and we got an impressive response from industry leaders who want to partner with Dublin to provide fiber to the home on this trailblazing project. I'm optimistic that we're going to get the deal done and that Dublin will become the most connected city in the U.S. in a matter of years.
And then the final one, most resilient. I know we all learned a lot about resiliency during the COVID pandemic. What does that mean looking into the future?
Sure. When it comes to resiliency, our vision is to provide a safe and inclusive city and the best quality of life and environment for all to thrive. And that can mean physically, mentally, socially, and emotionally.
So collaboration has become a real cornerstone of the way Dublin does business and the way Ohio does business. You're a big believer in local and regional collaboration as well. So how will you continue to drive that? And maybe, give us a couple examples of how collaboration nets results for our citizens.
Collaboration is really a way of life in Dublin. It is one of the most important things we do is partner with other government entities, partner with the private sector. It's how we get things done, and it's how we get big things done is in partnership with others. Mm-hmm. One of the great collaborations that I can point to is the partnership between Dublin, Marysville, and Union County with the Beta District. The Beta District is the region that includes those three entities. It's a tech-ready region where we have private sector, government, and academia all working together in an open playground to safely test and deploy technology in real-world scenarios. It also includes partnership with TRC, Honda. We have the OU Dublin campus. And we actually just had a meeting yesterday over in Marysville where we were working on the strategic framework for the Beta District. So that's a really important initiative. It includes the 33 Smart Mobility Corridor, which has been a focus of Dublin for several years now. It includes Connected Dublin, Connected Marysville, and the TRC Smart Center. There have been more than $100 million of public investment and private dollars invested in the Beta District to support all that smart infrastructure. So I'm really excited to see what's to come in the Beta District. Another partnership that I'm really proud of in collaboration, that's the improvement and upgrade of the Post Road Interchange. That's a partnership between Dublin, Union County, and the state to pull together all of the funding that was necessary for that significant improvement that's really going to improve traffic and the flow of traffic out in that area of town, as well as prompt and open up development opportunities out that way.
Megan, the City of Dublin runs on income tax revenues, so economic development is of utmost importance. As Chief Finance and Development Officer, you've had a big hand in steering the city through the pandemic and the economic challenges that have followed it. Tell us a little bit about the city's economic development strategy and what projects lie ahead.
The city does have a robust economic development strategic plan, and Dublin, as a result of that, the implementation of that plan and significant focus on our economic development activities, we have a highly diversified corporate base of companies from Fortune 1000 headquarters to emerging tech companies. While many sectors are growing in the area, we're especially excited about the recent expansion with the healthcare industries. We have our Dublin Methodist Hospital that continues to thrive. We have the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center that recently opened their outpatient care Dublin to bring more than 100 specialty services to our community. That's an important sector that we are seeing grow in Dublin. And that's especially important now in the post-COVID era, because those are jobs that have been created and are growing, and those are jobs where the employees have to come to Dublin to work on a daily basis. It's not really possible for many of those to work remote, so therefore we're able to capture that income tax revenue. We're also working on revitalization efforts for Metro Place. That is our legacy office park from the 80s that is primed for redevelopment. So you'll see us focusing our efforts on that area. And then, of course, we have Bridge Park, which has been a huge success, and it's one of the most desirable growth areas in the country, and also continues to add residential and commercial tenants.
I mean, you just touched on the fact that COVID, we don't know what the outcome's going to be with office space and things like that. But how will that affect our economic outlook in terms of office space, leasing, and the ability to continue and attract more businesses to locate here?
Sure. So the COVID pandemic really did have an impact on things. We do remain very strong, sustainable, and in a great financial position. But the changing workforce climate has certainly had an impact, and we are mindful of that, and we're keeping a close eye on those trends. We have an amazing finance director and finance team led by Matt Stifler, and they're doing an exceptional job of anticipating the impacts of remote work and hybrid work. They're doing some really brilliant analysis over the past couple of years that are informing our decisions in the financial arena. And we are seeing an impact, but not to the extent that you might think. We don't know for sure, but income tax revenues are expected to be steady in 23 at this point in comparison to 22. You also have to remember, when we look back at 22, we did have a record-breaking year with more than $100 million of income tax revenue last year. So we're watching the workforce climate closely. We're talking to our largest employers about their plans for the future. We're engaging them.
Well, there have been some positives from COVID, such as a more openness and willingness to talk just about mental health and the need for all of us to look at our own self-care. How will you lead in this respect, both at City Hall and across our city?
So this really does go back to our vision statement and the commitment to provide the best environment for all to thrive physically, mentally, socially, and emotionally. We are talking about mental health more, and we're talking about it publicly, and I think that's important. We do want everybody to know that Dublin is a city that cares, and we are willing to have that conversation.
In your comments to City Council last month, you said there is a culture of excellence in Dublin. Elaborate a little on that and tell us what type of culture you hope to cultivate among the city staff.
People that work in Dublin really are second to none, as I talked about a little while ago. They are passionate about their work. They're passionate about serving the Dublin community. That is the standard. That's our expectations. We just did a community attitude survey, which resulted in a 99% approval rating, which is absolutely amazing. All of our services, facilities, and amenities ranked very highly in that survey. Columbus CEO magazine readers just ranked Dublin the #1 suburb to do business for the 12th year in a row.
12 years and running.
So we do excellent work in the city. I think our residents recognize that and appreciate that. And all what that does is that motivates our staff to work even harder and to a higher level. So that fuels our culture of excellence. Our staff is challenged to be innovative, challenged to be leaders in their field, challenged to continue to grow themselves professionally and personally. So everybody throughout the organization just wants to do better and better.
Yeah, I can attest to that, and because you do feel challenged in the city, but you really do feel appreciated by the residents and the businesses, and it's a nice feeling.
As we start to wrap up our conversation, let's come back to the personal side of things. You have 2 kids, daughter Melanie and son Jack. Can you tell us about them and what they're into?
So Melanie is in the 4th grade and Jack is in the 1st grade. They attend Wyandotte Elementary School, and they both love going to Wyandotte. They're at the age where they are into everything, so they're trying to figure out what their thing is, which means they are trying all sorts of things. They're enrolled in all kinds of activities. Melanie really enjoys Irish dance. She loves soccer, swimming, Girl Scouts, pretty much anything that I sign her up for, she loves, which is becoming a problem because I'm trying to get her to narrow down her passions, and it's just not working out that way. But it's really fun to see her enjoy all her activities. Jack also plays soccer. He's tried baseball. He loves riding his bike. Being the youngest sibling, he's also the youngest of all the cousins. And so he wants to do everything that all the older kids are doing. So that's fun to see. We live near the North Pole, and so they love the new North Pole. They love the new slide. They love the rock climbing wall. So you could see us there all summer on our bikes. They love all the community events, so you'll see them there. And we're very much a part of the Dublin community, and we love all that it has to offer.
So on that note, how do you unwind, even for a little bit, to rest or recharge?
That's a great question. I probably need to try to do more of that. But really just doing anything with the kids. They're a lot of fun. They keep me busy. And it is good to take my mind off of work sometimes. We live adjacent to one of our fabulous city parks, so you'll find us there quite a bit, playing basketball or just running around there. We ride bikes a lot, so we're all over on our over 130 miles of shared use paths throughout the city. In the month of October, you will see us at all the pumpkin farms. You'll see us at Spooktacular coming up. That's my favorite event.
Any costumes that we know about for the kids?
Good question.
For the kids. So Jack is going to be a special ops soldier, I believe. And Melanie is a zombie cheerleader.
Oh boy. All right.
Fun.
I like it.
All right. You're getting a makeup artist for that. And you told me the other day that Mayor Jane Fox gave Melanie a business card and said, if mom's ever working too hard, give me a call, and she would answer the call. Isn't that right?
She did. It was the sweetest thing. Melanie came along with me to Dana's celebration of his retirement, and the mayor did. She introduced herself to Melanie, handed her a card, and said, if your mom is working too much, or if you think that she needs to work less or is having some issues, give me a call and I will help you out.
I love that. And I asked
great.
how many times that Melanie's already called her. 10 last week. Okay, so we have a tradition here to end each episode with some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
We just mentioned your kids. So how would Melanie finish this sentence? My mom is so
Busy and fun.
busy and fun.
How would Jack finish this sentence? My mom always reminds me to
Turn off my iPad. Oh, there's a lot of those. I'm always nagging him, he would say. Turn off his iPad, brush his teeth, be kind,
There is
keep
a
his
difference.
hands to himself.
Boys
Yeah.
and girls are wired completely different.
Yes.
Well, you have one of each, Bruce, so
Yes,
you can give her
I
some
know.
pointers
I
here.
know.
Okay, Megan, what is your go-to lunch spot in Dublin?
Rusty Bucket. I love their double nickel salad with a salmon.
Ooh, that's good.
I love Mr. Sushi. I love DVT.
Your go-to takeout for you and the kids.
If the kids are with me, we are likely ending up at McDonald's.
Kids love
Surprise,
it.
surprise.
All right.
If you could totally splurge, what is one amenity you would want for your house, just for you?
Right now, I have some construction going on the inside of my house, so I would really appreciate some drywall in a few of the walls.
Total splurge, drywall.
Yes, drywall.
What's the most challenging project you've been a part of here in Dublin?
I would have to say the Dublin Link Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That bridge really was an amazing project to be a part of. It really is an engineering marvel. It took a whole team of experts from all around the globe, and it was challenging to coordinate that just with the time zones of trying to pull together meetings. But it was really an amazing experience.
But when you go down there now and you see all the people on it, does that just put a smile on your face?
It sure does, yeah. I really, one of my favorite things to do is to sit at the Pearl outside on their patio and listen to others that are dining there. And oftentimes you'll hear them talking about the bridge and saying, look over at the bridge, it looks amazing. And then they'll take a selfie with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We see so many pictures of that
my
bridge.
gosh, yeah.
I just posted one the other day.
And the great thing about being a public servant and having the types of jobs that we have is everywhere you drive around town, you see projects and initiatives that you played a hand in, and that's pretty rewarding. I would say any time that I have worked with a group of residents and staff and worked on solving a problem and helping folks come together, and I care to make sure that folks understand why decisions are being made and find that collaboration's important and getting buy-in. So,
Question or request you hear from residents the most?
when is my street being paved? How can we get cars to slow down?
Our new city manager, Megan O'Callahan, thank you for joining us today on Link Ahead.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
And to our listeners, thank you for taking the time to connect with your city. Tune in next time as we continue to explore the many personalities and experiences that make Dublin a thriving place to live, work, and grow.